See, this is the problem with y'all podcasts. Y'all trying to be lit, but y'all taking advice from that motherfucker that's teaching them weak-ass self-defense classes. That ain't how you do it. That's not how you pod, baby. You got to come around this side. You feel me? Whenever you hit an MVP chant, you already know what's the deal. It's the most valuable podcast in the world. The Hitmen Podcast. I got some true player partners in here with me this week. I got my D-Town boy, MG. I got my big dog, Terry Roseland from the Terry Roseland Podcast pulling up. What's the word, brothers? How y'all feeling, man?
All good, all good.
Good, man. And in my defense, we do not claim the self-defense expert.
Detroit Dust. Yeah, I was just about to put you out there, but I'm glad you caught the save, bro.
Yeah, we don't claim Black Steven Cigars.
Man, that nigga's going fucking galactic on the socials, bro. Every time I look at some shit, every time somebody falling off, losing money, this and that and the third, it's all because of him. They say, this is because I took advice from this nigga here.
He got to be trolling, though, bro. He can't be serious.
I hope not. He need to holler at your mans. You said you pulled up on him. What'd you say his name was? You said he got the most expensive security company on the planet right now. A couple weeks ago.
John Griffin.
John Griffin. He need to pull up on John Griffin, man. He need to teach a class or something because that shit he got going on is some bullshit, bro. I appreciate y'all tapping in with me, man, rolling with me this week. How was y'all Thanksgiving? Everything smooth?
Everything was good, bro.
Yeah, man. Ate good. Black Friday shopping, Can't complain.
I got a question for y'all.
Good sports, too.
What's the all-time bullet gun to your head? What's the one side you got to have? If you can't have no other side with your shit, is it mac and cheese? Is it greens? Is it yams? Which one is it? What you got to have to go with your stuff?
If it's on Thanksgiving, I'm going with dressing, bro.
My guy. That's what I'm talking about.
Cause you don't eat dressing no other time of the year. Like, you can eat mac and cheese any day. Dressing, you only eat that on Thanksgiving.
Word. MG, what you got?
I'm a mac and cheese guy.
Oh, you old school, huh?
Yeah, it's my favorite. It's my favorite like soul food side. So I got to have it all at all holidays.
I appreciate it, bro. I definitely understand that. I'm with Terry though. I got you. Only time you eat dressing cranberry sauce is on Thanksgiving. So that's the shit that puts you to sleep for real. That's what I be needing in my life.
That's true.
Mac and cheese, I can have it with anything. So I appreciate it again, y'all tapping in with me. Want to make sure y'all know that we everywhere that podcast lives. So rate, review, and subscribe. We on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, all of that. Catch us at the YouTube. Want to let y'all know that we sponsored by Sprite. Sprite Winter Spice Cranberry. Make sure y'all go pick it up. It's in the stores right now. We still got the PS5 giveaway going on. Make sure y'all hit up the Instagram at Hitmen Podcast. The rules and regulations is on the page. Go on there. I've been hearing a lot of the female followers, the female listeners. They're like, oh, well, my guy got one. Oh, my son got one already. Flip that motherfucker. If you win it, you know what I'm saying, do something with it. It ain't like I can use it. I already got my own. You know what I'm saying? Enter anyway. Like the point is to show love, to give thanks. So pull up. If you win it, it's fortunate for you. You know what I'm saying? Flip it. If you win it and ain't got one, nigga, now you got one. You know what I'm saying? Get down as fast as you can. Make sure y'all hit us up. It's at Hitmen Podcast, at Labeled and Known, on Instagram and on Twitter. Before we get off into the show, man, Terry, MG, I want y'all to let the people know where they can find y'all at. I done been on Terry's show a couple of times, been on MG's show a couple of times. They both lit, but I want them to hear straight from the horse's mouth. So y'all let them know where they can find y'all at.
I'm at Terry Roseland on everything. So Twitter, Instagram, TikTok is at Terry Roseland, TerryRoseland. And TerryRoseland.com as well.
Yeah, and then I'm just on Twitter right now at Virtuoso Sports. And then I'm also on Blitz Sports Network. That's where my podcast is hosted if you guys are trying to tap in with me over there.
Facts.
Let's get off into the show, man. Y'all know how we do it each and every time we get down. It's the Who Wop the Band. We're going to start with the NBA from yesterday, man. News out of L.A. LeBron caught COVID, wasn't able to play last night. They still ended up eking out the win, but it's one of them things where it's hard for me to not look at it like he ducking the regular season. He went from fucking chilling, then he got injured, then he caught the tech with Isaiah Stewart. Now he got COVID, and the league kind of just protecting it, like protecting him the whole time. And I don't really know what to make of it. What y'all think?
Bro, I wasn't going to say that out loud ever, but I feel the same way. It seemed like LeBron, and I love LeBron, bro, but it just seemed like if he don't feel like they're really a contender or damn near a shoe in, that he don't want to be a part of.
He'd
what's
be
going
over
on.
it, right?
Yeah, it feel like that, bro. But
Yeah,
every year is win or bust for LeBron though, which is unfair. Every year though, bro.
well, I mean, the minute he starts to feel like he ain't winning, he done. He don't care no more. And
It's too
them
early
boys
for
at the
that shit
top
right
of the
now, though.
them boys at the top of the conference right now look like juggernauts.
But it's too early to be feeling like that. It's not even a fourth of the way through the season. We ain't even in Christmas yet. And again, like obviously, like all jokes aside, COVID is a serious issue. I hope everything work out. I hope everything's smooth. But it's hard to not think that way. It's hard to not feel that way about the kid. You know what I'm saying? Because every time some shit don't go his way, it's like, all right, a new influx of players coming in. Oh, he's chilling. In the past 3 years, that's kind of been like the trend. He had the groin injury. He was out last year taking some time because of the ribs. Now it's this shit. It's like, bro, you forced your way over to the Lakers, and now like it's looking funny in the light. Your shit looking cloudy and chipped up. You feel me? You supposed to came in here and got a couple of them things, and it's hard to get away from that when you got Russell Westbrook, Dwight Howard, Carmelo Anthony Davis. It's too many names for y'all motherfuckers to not be pulling this shit together.
I think it's I think the age is catching up too though. Like because outside of the ankle injury where Solomon Hill rolled up on him, which I mean that would have broke anybody else's ankle. A lot of this stuff has been somewhat non-contact injuries.
Yeah, word.
And I think it's a sign his body's just breaking down. And that Lakers team, and this goes for any team. If that Lakers team don't find a way to get back into the like top 3 seeds, their chances of winning the title are slim to none.
You think Vogel gonna be up out of there?
Nah, I think he'll get one more year. I mean, they just won a title. And last year they were dealing with injuries, so I think they'll give him one more year.
I don't know. Terry, you're not no Lakers fan though, is you?
I mean, nah, not really. I fuck with Brian though. I fuck with Brian, man, but I'm not really a Lakers fan. Grew up kind of. I was an AI guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when they did them how they did them, it was like I just hated them. It was like the Lakers was like the Patriots for me. It was just like I hated them. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you. Speaking of clutch, even though we wasn't speaking of clutch, another athlete that's sitting out chilling, Ben Simmons. He was in the news earlier this week. The soccer's still continuing. He going bankrupt chilling on these niggas, acting like he don't want to answer their call, but it's starting to affect the bottom line a little bit more than what he thought it would. A trade don't really seem imminent at this point. My question to y'all is, how do y'all see this ending? Do y'all see him going back to Philly? Do y'all see a team kind of like biting the bullet and taking them? If so, which one? Because I don't really know what to do anymore. I don't really know what like a solution for him anymore. In the beginning, I thought it was gonna be a Dame Lillard situation, maybe a John Wall situation in Houston where he gets his own team, kind of rebuild a new coach. But now it's like, bro, you running out of options.
John Wall would be nice. People was talking about Jaylen Brown. I think that would have been cool. LeBron might try to get him. Shit, they need some help. He ain't up on the Lakers. I mean, anybody taking Russ, but I know Philly ain't taking Russ. You know.
Yeah, I think Morey's going to end up caving eventually because asking price is just way too high for somebody that has that type of contract and can't score.
And they can't fucking shoot.
Exactly. It's just he's going to have to either finesse a team and sell a dream. He's going to have to sell a dream to somebody of what Ben Simmons could be, quote unquote, versus what he actually is and what we all know he is.
Word.
So his best bet is to get a third and fourth team involved to try to get more pieces, out of that type of trade. But just a 1-2 team deal, they're gonna end up getting less value on the dollar.
You know what an All-Star game is this year? I done lost track.
Is it Cleveland?
Is it Cleveland? It's supposed to be Cleveland, then Salt Lake, right?
Is it Cleveland? Yeah, because last year was Indiana, right?
Cleveland, Salt Lake. And I think Miami is after that. Maybe. Reason I brought it up is because that's usually around the trade deadline. Do you think something happens before? Do you think something happens before then, before the All-Star break, where Ben Simmons gets a chance to move around? To be honest, the Portland situation don't seem that crazy now because Dame Lillard playing like shit this season. He's not playing the best. You feel what I'm saying? And so it's hard to say like his value getting driven down because he getting all the commercials in the world because of what he been doing these past 2-3 years. Like Dame Lillard is lit, but 9 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10, I want Dame over Ben Simmons like all day, every day. The nigga can't shoot. Like he can't shoot. You know what I'm saying? That's like
Yep.
That's like half your paycheck, 3/4 of your paycheck. And that's what's going to ultimately take you through a long career. Anybody that can shoot, they in the league 15, 16, 17 years. All that other shit, your athleticism, all of that stuff fades. If you can shoot, you're going to always be able to shoot.
And here go the real problem, because everybody throws out Ben Simmons deals, including the national media. And now we all think about it in the sense of what should Philly try to get back in return. But if you got to look at it from the sense of the other teams, like if you're Portland, is there any chance you give up Damian Lillard for Ben Simmons? No chance.
Yeah, you need need everything you can get back. Like you basically fleecing the
team. Yeah, you're gonna have to give me Ty Maxey. You're gonna have to get like literally everything. Seth Curry. You're gonna have to give me everything.
Exactly, bro.
Yeah.
And I don't think Daryl Morey's willing to do that because he's still trying to contend this year.
My question is why do they use Ben the way that they use him? Why not use him like Giannis since he can't shoot? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Giannis is better at shooting, but I mean Ben can drive, Ben can, you know what I'm saying? Like he can do other things. It's just like I feel like they could use him better. You know what I'm saying?
Well, big part of that is Ben doesn't have that same competitiveness and just work ethic and go get it kind of mentality that Giannis has. Like Giannis is like the definition of he never gives up on the play. That's the definition of Giannis at this point. So Ben Simmons, he doesn't really play in that way, which if he did, he could easily get to the free throw line a bunch during the game. He can get a bunch of layups, dunks. He just don't have that I'm getting to the basket and you can't do anything about it mentality that Giannis has.
He just ain't tough enough.
The other thing is, I think you brought this up on your show, Jeezy. Ben Simmons has never really been quote unquote coached. He's kind of been able to do his own thing wherever he went somewhere. Brett Brown knew him since he was a shorty. You know what I'm saying? So he never it was more of like a I don't want to say like a friend relationship, like a friend-coach relationship. He just was too close to him in order to come off like hard disciplinarian in terms of teaching him how to change his game. And Doc Rivers ain't never had a player like him before. Most of the time when Doc Rivers has had players, they've been more complete players than that. So it's hard to teach somebody to do something when you've never been in a position where you've had to teach somebody to do that shit. You know? And then, like, for what it's worth, bro, we still can't forget how they threw him under the bus after the playoffs. Like them interviews, like those live on YouTube. Those live in the atmosphere. You can never get away from that. Whenever he goes to a Philly game, and I heard this on the show, they was like, if he does even decide to come back to Philly, it probably would be best to come back on a long road trip so he can get some games underneath him where he's not having to face that Philly crowd. So by the time he comes back to play at home, they might be a little bit softer on their stance. But if he goes back, whatever first night back, he getting booed out of the fucking building. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they keep saying like a big part of this situation is a serious subject that needs to be talked about. Is his mental health is starting to suffer from it. Do you think that that's the most viable solution to put somebody that's kind of in a unstable situation, put him in that type of environment? You think that's gonna be best for him? Not even just for a basketball perspective, but just how you know he's not gonna go home and do something to himself after that? Like, why the fuck would y'all do that? On the same token, a lot of this shit is self-inflicted, and you making a lot of motherfucking money, bro. If I was making $40 million, I would have to, nigga, what? Somebody would have to keep me from. They would have to bar my doors down for me to not have to go back and try to get that money. I'm going to get every single dollar.
They could pay me $1 million to sit at the end of the bench and just come up with a handshake and hand dudes their Gatorade bottle.
Let me ask y'all both.
And it's like, bro, you actually folded though. It's not like you just tried your best and had a bad game. Like you folded, bro.
Let me ask y'all both a question.
Yep.
How much money would it cost for you? How much money would somebody have to pay you to sell out, I guess? Like, give up on your dream. Like, if somebody told me right now, like, I'm going to pay you X amount of dollars to quit your podcast. Terry, somebody's like, yeah, I'm going to pay you this much money to quit your show or to quit your job or whatever it is that you love. Like, what's the number? Because everybody got a number. What do you think the number is going to be? Is it a couple M's, 10 M's, 50 M's, a bill? Like, what would it cost for you to walk away from something that, you know what I'm saying, you done built up from the ground up?
It depends on what it's worth on the day they ask me, bro.
Hey, that's a good answer.
Yeah, today 50 M sounds great.
You feel me? Dave Chappelle walked away from 50. You know what I'm saying? Like, I bring that up.
We all thought he was crazy at the time, too.
Crazy as hell. We thought. I'm thinking about that in the perspective as it pertains to Ben Simmons. Like, how much money do we got to pay you to bring your ass back and to deal with these bulls, deal with this criticism in order for you to get better? Like, what would it take? How much money is it going to take to get your ass in the gym and learn how to shoot?
Yeah, and I think a big part of all of it, I think him and Rich Paul, they overplayed their hand, and they've tried every trick in the book at this point. And I don't want to take shots at the mental illness thing because he could legitimately be going through something,
Yeah,
but it felt
1000%.
like okay, well, I'm not showing up. Okay, so we're not going to pay you for not showing up. Okay, I am going to show up, but then I'm just going to be a pain to deal with. Okay, we'll send you home.
Cell phone in the pocket while he's practicing, all that type of shit.
Yeah, it felt, it almost feels like and then the whole thing, he said his back was a little tight, so they sent him to get checked out, and your back is fine. Like, it just feels like that was like the one thing they had left in the back pocket to say, y'all can't really question if this is legitimate or not, because it's mental health, right?
I know what a stall out look like when it see. I done been stalled out on a few motherfucking business deals, podcast episodes, whatever. I know what a stall out look like and feel like when they come around, bro.
Yeah, sure. And I also think we got to take into account ownership, because ownership is definitely in favor of what Daryl Morey is doing right now, because they're tired of how players have been going about stuff with the Anthony Davises and the James Hardens of the world. So ownership is fine standing pat and rocking with Daryl Morey on this.
We talked about that earlier on your show. You had me up till 4-5 in the morning, bro, because I was at the Rutgers game last night. I was at the Rutgers game last night checking out Ron Harper Jr. Rutgers prospect. They won the game, but it was a long day. Shit, that's why I said again, I appreciate y'all pulling up on me. But yeah, man, it's just one of them things where I think like money. 9 times out of 10, the answer to all your problems or the answer to all your questions is money. And you know, like, we are men of integrity. Ben Simmons probably considers himself a man of integrity, and this is becoming just a story that's off the court. Like, him and Deshaun Watson are kind of in the same situation, but they ultimately are in the same situation because of the fact that they're not playing. They're being talked about more so about what's going on off the court, off the field, as opposed to what's going on the court, on the field. So I just wanted to get y'all perspective on that. A couple more things in the NBA BAMs. The Milwaukee Bucks signed Boogie Cousins. I've been screaming for a minute that size matters. No homo. Size matters in the NBA. And when it comes down to playoff basketball, things slow down. So I think Boogie Cousins is a big pickup for them. But they need him to be a big pickup in terms of the player, not just the namesake. Like, yeah, we signed DeMarcus Cousins for him to ride the bench, because that's what he did on the Lakers. That's what he did on the Warriors. So at this point, it's like, I hate to see him as a ring chaser or as a mercenary, but that's what it's starting to look like. MG, how you feel about the Bucks picking him up?
It's twofold. They've been struggling with some injuries this year or illnesses, because Chris Middleton had got sick for a little bit, and then there's been a hangover for the Bucks too. The role players, at least, like Giannis has still been Giannis, but everybody else kind of has that championship hangover right now. I mean, Boogie can definitely help them when it comes to toughness and when it comes to offensively, just his versatility. I mean, defensively is going to be an issue, and they have the same issue with Bobby Portis, so it's almost going to make him and Bobby Portis kind of interchangeable. They basically are going to be providing the same things for the team for the most part. So it's not a bad signing. I just don't think it moves the needle much, but I don't think it hurts them at all.
I think it's more of an insurance policy, the same way that Drummond went up to Philly to kind of spell Embiid if in the event that he goes down for COVID or injuries or whatever the case may be. On paper, it's a cool sign. It's a cool pickup, but again, like I said, he got to produce. G.
Oh, and I forgot, and they've gotten an extended look at Giannis's brother this year too, and it hasn't been pretty. So I'm pretty sure they looked like, ooh, we got to get somebody else in here.
Last thing before we get out of this BAM, one of the big matchups last night was the Warriors and Suns. The Suns ended up eking out the win over the Warriors, who've been hot as fish grease. This is their 17th straight win. Devin Booker went down with a sore hamstring, but I wanted to bring him up to both of y'all. With them winning 17 straight, I know all eyes are on Steph Curry right now. I know my money is on him to win the MVP, but why are we not talking about Devin Booker as an MVP candidate for this season?
I can tell you the number one reason why.
What's the number one reason?
He's only been playing well for about 2 weeks. Really well, should I say. The rest of the beginning of the season, he did not get off to a good start. Right. It was up and down, up and down. And then I would say about the last week and a half, 2 weeks, he's really stepped it up. So I think it would be more of a matter of him just stringing together, taking this 2 week stretch that he's had and stringing that, out further than, what he has so far. But I think that's a big reason. Plus the way Steph has played this year, it's hard to, the Suns have won 17 in a row, but when you compare to just the individual performances of the two, Steph is far superior to him this year.
Yeah, definitely.
I think
and Book's got to go from a 22, 23 point game score. He's got to raise his average up to 27, 28
right.
to win that MVP.
We've been saying that for 2-3 years now. And I think last night it wasn't great for him going down against the Warriors. They play him again on Friday, but these are the games that's on national TV that you want to show out. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what's going to switch the narrative. That's what changes the conversation when you go, all right, y'all won 17 straight, but who's the real reason for it? Is it DeAndre Ayton? Is it Chris Paul? Is it Devin Booker? Is it collectively? And my thing is, last night would have been one of those opportunities that rarely come where you had a chance to kind of show and prove, going head up with who everybody thinks is going to win the MVP. And then they won the game, but he didn't have a lot to do with that. He finished the game with 10 points before he had to leave,
Yeah, and I mean, the Suns are definitely avoiding that championship hangover, obviously. And they're benefiting from bringing back so many of the same pieces. So that chemistry is already there. They had a super long playoff run into the finals last year, and everybody is back. Obviously you add in a JaVale McGee and a Elfrid Payton and a Landry Shamet, but for the most part, that entire core of people who play is the same. So they already got the chemistry going.
Word.
And so that's definitely, helping them with this early season success. I'm just curious about long run, and this goes for the Warriors too. Number one, injuries, right? And then number two, we've seen Chris Paul in the playoffs. Hasn't been pretty, whether he's been hurt or whether he just hasn't delivered on the court. Can't happen again. And then DeAndre Ayton has to become more of a force offensively.
And he want his money too. He in the contract year right now.
Because I mean, yeah, he does some good things defensively. Which, by the way, I think it looks like he's lost some weight this year. He's definitely
that's because he got that haircut.
Got more cut up, but yeah, right. But he's the key to their entire success. I mean, during the playoffs, he was giving them 20 and 10 with great defense as a big man, and if he ain't giving them that offensively, Devin Booker's going to have to be special every night, and he has yet to prove that he can be special every night. So,
all right, we're going to come back to the NFL in a minute. The biggest reason I brought Terry on the show, I'm a big fan of the Terry Roseland pod already, but I know he got supreme knowledge of boxing, and I wanted to bring him in to go back through a couple of these fights that just passed. And MG, I know that, that's right up your alley too. So, Terry, which one you want to go with first? You want to go with Porter Crawford, or you want to talk about Teofimo?
We could do it on order. We go Porter Crawford first.
All right. First of all, this is one of the most important things too. Where you watch a fight at, the environment is completely different, because the way you score a fight when you at a fight party is completely different when you trying to break it down at the crib solo. So, where did you catch the fight at, and what was your overall thoughts of how it went?
I actually went to my people crib for fight party.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? I was at the John Griffin crib.
Okay. Salute. Shout out to John
crazy
Griffin.
house. But so it was a fight party, and I still scored it the same. Everybody was scoring. So first of all, I'm big Bud Crawford fan.
To this day,
had him winning. You know what I'm saying? Had him winning by decision, unanimous decision, and I still scored the first 4 rounds 3-1 for Porter. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of Bud Crawford fans there, so I feel like I still scored it based on what I saw. But I think Porter was up at the time that he got stopped, and the stoppage was horrible. What? And what his father had to say about the stoppage was horrible. It was just bad.
Horrible. Why you think it was horrible?
Because Sean Porter deserves to finish the fight, and it's he has the legacy of he's fought everybody, but he had 3 losses.
Right.
But it's if he somehow comes back and win that fight, bro, his legacy is cemented, bro. That shit would have been amazing. And he deserved to have a chance to do that.
He had
You know what
already,
I'm saying? His father stole that from him.
he had already got knocked down twice. You think it was a scary stoppage? He didn't want to see his son go out like that.
I think that health wise, it wasn't to that point yet. Sean Porter's a tough guy. His father said, and I watched what his father said, and I watched what he said on the podcast, and he basically broke it down. Like his father warned him about this situation happening, and he wanted Sean Porter to do certain things in practice that Sean refused to do. So at the time when that happened, he felt like, oh, because he didn't do these things, I'm going to stop it right now because this could get ugly. But at the end of the day, you've been boxing for 20 years.
Exactly.
We know how Terrence Porter get down when he got somebody hurt, but you still deserve to go out on your shield. The throwing in the towel thing, Sean Porter not even that type of fighter. He a dog, he a warrior. His father should have let him be that. Like that was whack.
MG, you caught the fight?
Was whack.
Yes, sir.
What'd you think, man? So I thought that the two knockdowns weren't dangerous enough for his father to stop the fight. I agree with you, Terry, on that regard. He still had a few rounds. He still had enough time in that round to at least not necessarily go down 10-8, but he could have made it a 10-9 round at some point. I don't think that he was incapacitated. I think a lot of it was just confidence. He got caught when he didn't want to get caught. Like, fuck, I seen that shit coming. Damn, I seen that coming. I ain't do nothing about it. But what did you think of the stoppage?
I thought the stoppage was weak. I'm with Terry. Like, Porter's never been stopped, so it's not like it's somebody who's gotten knocked out a couple of fights in a row. After you get knocked out real bad that first time, your chin is weaker for the rest of your career. Sean Porter's never been that guy. He's never been finished. So you gotta believe that he wasn't necessarily in real danger.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Was he, was the momentum definitely swung in Bud's direction at that point, and was Bud probably gonna finish him off eventually? Yeah, but like they said, man, you let him go out on his own sword. He's never shown to have a weak chin or be somebody who gets knocked out. So you let him finish the fight.
Gotcha.
Afterwards, he said he was retiring. He didn't want to be a gatekeeper. He doesn't want to be a boost for anybody that's trying to leapfrog and get title fights or get number one contender opportunities. So he says he's gonna chill out. I honestly don't believe that that's gonna be the case. I think he's gonna fight again. I think he's gonna fight again soon. In comparison to the next fight that we're about to get into, I love the way they both handled it, though. They both were professional about it, but you could kind of tell they both had heart. The way that the Teofimo Kambosos fight ended, not just like with the announcement, but the post game, I was really like thrown off. Really wasn't fucking with it. But again, I want you to lead off and kind of let me know how you felt about it.
I think T.O. kind of threw a bitch fit, bro.
Exactly, bro. 1,000%.
Like, everybody say he went full Adrian Broner, which he did, and just say like Adrian Broner shit was worse.
Wow.
But T.O. did saying like, oh, I won the fight. That shit was kind of crazy. Then you get booed by your own hometown. I've never seen that one before.
And they were screaming his name the whole fight until he started getting on that bullshit at the end.
Facts. And on top of that, he reported, they saying that that I can't even say his name, Kambosos.
Mm-hmm.
Am I saying
George
right?
Kambosos.
Yeah, Kambosos. They saying that Kambosos offered him a rematch, even though it was a no rematch clause. And T.O. didn't offer Lomo a rematch. T.O. took Lomo belts, didn't give him a rematch. Ran off on him.
T.O. completely dodged the entire rematch offer.
So now, people thinking, a lot of people was like, hey, if dude don't get, dude was the underdog and won. So, of course, T.O. going to want the rematch.
Word.
And people was saying, like, hey, if Kambosos don't get T.O. the rematch, oh, well, because T.O. smoked Loma. But Kambosos offered the rematch, and they saying, T.O. saying, like, I don't want the rematch, and I'm leaving the division. That's a bitch fit, bro. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing, bro?
Yeah, he's salty.
Like, legacy shatter. He only, like, what, 25,
24,
maybe?
I think he just turned 24.
Like, come on, man. That shit was horrible.
I think everybody be too concerned with that undefeated shit. They care too much about that zero and not about the longevity of their career. Some of the all-time greats are not undefeated, bro.
Yeah, bad month for father-son coaching combinations.
Man.
Straight up, good point.
Because he didn't have a fucking game plan either. That's the other thing. Like, it was the same as if you saw Charlo Lil Charlo versus Tony Harrison.
Mm-hmm.
It was the exact same thing. You came in, you underestimated him. You didn't have a real game plan. You thought you was gonna beat up on him. He had great timing.
That overhand right was a fucking killer, bro.
Overhand right going crazy. It was just the hand speed and the timing was just he was just on point. It's like I don't know if you watched no film on him, but he watched a lot of film on your ass. And he came ready, bro. But I think if they did rematch, I think T.O. would stop him, bro. Because he would watch the tape, and I don't think physically he could really match up with him. I just think I think T.O., once he got popped, he didn't know and realized dude got good timing, good counterpunching. He was like, damn, I don't even know when to let my hands
And
go.
he didn't
But
respect
once
him.
he did let him go, he knocked him down.
And he didn't respect him. You could tell that the first 3 rounds, he was coming in with his hands down. Kambosos was on his toes. He was backing him into the corner, hooking him, switching him. And then before you know it, that overhand right just started clapping him, bang, 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 bang. And by that time, you down. And his pops, like you said, to his credit, his pops was lying to him the whole time. He was like, you won that round, Poppy. You
No
got
game
this
plan.
one. Like, hell no, you ain't win that round, nigga. You better get in there and get busy, goddamn.
Yeah.
No
And
game plan.
and the thing is, T.O. got into a brawl with somebody who brawled better than him.
Yeah, for sure.
If T.O. would have fought a more strategic fight, he would have won that fight. But he fought like he was brawling. He was leading with his head.
He cut him.
He was
cut
leaving
him
his
very
punches
early,
hanging,
too.
leaving his hands down. Bro, that very first knockdown he took in the first round, he landed the left jab, but he also left the jab hanging out. He also left the hand hanging out there, so the counter right was there for Kambosos.
Word.
And that was a lot of the shots Kambosos hit was T.O. either leading with his head or leaving his punches hanging. And boom, counter punch all day.
Do y'all think his knockdown in the 10th was gonna make a difference? I felt like he thought his knockdown was gonna allow him push him over.
It depends on how you scored round 3, because I've seen a lot of people had round 3 for T.O. and I've seen a lot of people had it for Gambos.
I had it for
Kambosos. Yeah, so I think because that was really if you had it for Kambosos, the knockdown, you thought maybe Kambosos in round 10, he looked wobbly, so maybe you thought, damn, T.O.'s turning this around.
Yeah.
But as far as the scorecards, I thought Kambosos was fine. It really on the scorecards, I think it just goes back to how you score at round 3 in terms of if you felt like he was in any real danger of losing.
And then he came back and shitted on him around 11. Kambosos went crazy.
Yeah.
He shut that bullshit
I'm
down.
like, who is
fuck
this guy? I'm like, who
shut
is
that
this dude?
shit
This
down.
dude crazy.
Do you think that the busier you are, that sways certain judges? Like not necessarily even
100%.
landing punches, but just the more punches that make contact. You might slip them, but do you think that that plays a part or makes a difference when you're at a live fight? I used to think that for a long time, but I think that judges now are more sophisticated. They're more educated. They seen more fights to know, like, all right, I'm not just going to base my decision off of who's moving around the most or who's throwing the most punches.
I think the crowd plays a big role in live
Really?
fights. What they go crazy over, you know what I'm saying? Because a guy could be winning around the first minute 30 seconds, and that last 30 seconds, the other guy get off, land a couple hard shots, the crowd go crazy. He steal the round. It's like, nah, bro, you lost, 2 minutes 30 seconds of the round. But I think I'm not mad at activity swinging it, especially if it's activity and it's aggression. Like if you're walking a guy down and you're more active, I think that if especially if the guy's allowing you to walk him down, he's allowing you to corner him. He's more active. If the other guy's lining more clean shots, it's kind of hard to depend on what it look like.
Word.
You know what I'm saying?
Word. We got a few more fights coming up. Shakur.
It kind of
Go ahead, Brody.
I was about to say, it just kind of goes into how you feel when you watch Floyd Mayweather fights. Because Floyd isn't necessarily super active, but he's accurate.
Yeah.
And so somebody else might look more active because they're trying to push Floyd and they're throwing way more shots, but Floyd's shots are pity pats at this point, but they're landing. So it really kind of is like,
that's what I was getting at. Yeah,
do you value the ring control and the aggressiveness like Terry said, or do you value the effectiveness in terms of, just being a more accurate striker, more accurate puncher? So it's odd. It's one of them you kind of got to, I think each fight is an individual basis in that sense.
That's a valid point. I think that Floyd's skill level is so high that no matter how aggressive a guy is, it's gonna then be obvious to the audience that this guy is ineffective.
For sure.
Versus another boxer might not have that skill level to the point where it might actually look effective. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
Floyd just an anomaly, man.
Yeah. on top of that, when somebody does look more active, sometimes a lot of them shots aren't landing.
Definitely.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
So that also plays into it too. So like, in the fight I always reference for whatever reason, it's Jon Jones versus Alexander Gustaf from UFC, the first UFC fight where Jones hit the big flurry at, I think it was the end of round 2 or 3, and like none of the shots landed, but they gave it around to Jones, and everybody thought Jones was teeing him up.
like knowing he didn't land.
And only like one of them shots landed out of like the 16 strikes he hit, like every through. Like it's one of those. What is your eye catching kind of thing? And some people's eyes are gonna catch that stuff live time, and some aren't.
That's why when I go to fights, I go early. I go when they open the gates at 4 or 5 o'clock because I like to see the flyweight fights. I like to see the featherweight fights because that should be a car crash. It'd be fun as hell to watch. You know the later
them Latinos, they go hard. Jesus Christ.
No fear.
2 flyweight Mexicans.
Ain't no blocking.
Bath.
Blocking is against the rules. Like, nah, fuck that. We trying to kill each other. Couple more fight takes that I want to rap with y'all about before we double back to the NFL. So I'm gonna play y'all a clip. This clip is from Tyson Fury, Tommy Fury's father. He's talking about the ridiculous contract stipulations that Jake Paul had put in place for their upcoming fight. Check this out. Here we go.
The contract.
Like
There's all
what?
kinds of it. Like you got to change your name for a year. You've got to do this. You've got to do that. You know what?
What's that? What, the loser has to change
Oh,
their
you got
name?
to change his name to Tommy Fumbles. You know, all rubbish and that. I could go into it more and more, but I don't want to bore people with the politics. You know what I'm saying? Because he is none. You know, and like anything else, they wouldn't sign up to the VADA testing either. That bothered me a little bit because I wanted that in the contract. You know, but he wouldn't do that. But I'm not even bothered about that because what they're going to do anyway. So yeah, we just want the fight because we know we can win it. You know, and if people think that Tommy's getting paid to lose, they're joking. Because a Fury would rather be put to death with a bullet between his 2 eyes than go down that road. It's never happened in 300 years of the Fury dynasty. It ain't happening now. This is real. I'm telling you, it's real. I look in that camera.
Hey, so look, I ain't gonna lie, like I'm Bomb Squad, but Big John Fury just sold this fucking fight on me. Like I don't know what the fuck Bob Airman them doing, but he said a Fury ain't lost a fight in 300 years. You feel what I'm saying? I'm fucking with it. I don't give a damn if it's Jake Paul, Logan Paul, whoever. I'm getting that shit.
Yeah, and I like Fury when he not fighting Deontay Wilder. Like I like him a lot. That's my boy.
Word.
You know what I'm saying?
How you feel about this Triller shit though? Like these exhibition fights. Do you think that a lot of people think it's a bastardization of the sport as it is? Like they
Can't blame anybody but the sports themselves.
And I missed the I don't even know if y'all caught it, the Frank Gore and Darren Williams fight. Was it last weekend, week before?
I missed it too. But my question is this: what's the difference between this and the Celebrity All-Star Game?
Yeah. And on top of that, again, this is like these fights, because a big reason why this is all happening is Dana White underpaying UFC fighters and then all the politics that go on in the boxing world, right? So if none of that stuff existed, this Triller stuff isn't even a factor. But when guys get to go over there, make big paydays, they got a ton of eyes on them right now. I'm not a fan of the Paul brothers, either one of them at all. But business wise, how can you not want that big payday?
Yeah.
For doing easy work for a couple of rounds, really. And Fury's talking all of this, but Tommy ain't a draw on his own. His brother's a draw.
Exactly.
So if you're gonna be fighting for Triller and you fighting Paul is the A side of this. And
ain't that crazy to say? Do you hear yourself saying as it's coming out? Don't you hear that shit? Jake Paul he's
the A side in terms of notoriety in the draw, not the skill, but he's the A side.
Paul would be the A side of a Terrence Crawford fight.
Ain't that crazy to say though, bro?
No,
it's the celebrity, and
I mean,
his star power is bigger. You're right.
It is, bro.
We can. And this is the thing. A lot of fighters, they try to negotiate based on what their actual skill is.
Word.
And skills aren't draws. It's not the only draw. And, I mean, some of the most skilled fighters of all time don't draw a dollar. Right? Yeah. It's how many people can you talk and can you talk into that arena? And that's gonna be the A side because they're the ones bringing the people in. So, yeah, are the Pauls and what they're doing ridiculous, and is the Triller thing kind of ridiculous to a degree? Yeah, but if you want that Triller payday, you go by their.
I want
hey, you got to cave to their demands because
boxing needs a league, bro.
Yes.
At the end of the day, boxing needs a league. There needs to be more regulations. People need to have to be forced to fight each other, not being able to just duck and dodge divisions and decide not to have belts and shit. It's getting weird in the business of boxing. It's fucking everything up. And I'm not mad at the Triller shit. I don't like pro fighters being on undercards of celebrity matches. That shit is weird as hell. Like, I will be cool with Triller combining with real boxing and Jake Paul, because the sport is kind of dying. So I feel like Jake Paul is bringing it some life. But it's just like, I just make the pros the main, like, you know what I'm saying, the headline fight.
If y'all could fight any celebrity, who would it be? So you could get.
Oh, you already know what my answer is.
I know, and so I kind of led you to that. I want you to go. I want you to go second. I want Terry to go first. If y'all get a Triller fight, if y'all get a Triller bag, and you had to pick any celebrity, who would you fight?
That's tough, bro. I need to think about that one.
Let me add this in. Who would you want to fight and win against? Say no matter what, you win in the fight. Who would you want to fight?
Oh, no, that's different.
Probably ASAP. Just got Rihanna pregnant. I probably whoop his ass right now. I probably whoop ASAP ass.
Hey, I've been seeing the Tyrese meme where he was crying. That's how everybody feel when they found out. Congratulations. Oh, man. Niggas is hurt, big hurt.
Man, for real.
MG, who would you pick? I feel like I know.
You know I got two on my list, and it's hard to choose between the two. And the only thing saving this other one is he's a local guy. But it's between Chris Webber and KG. And I gotta go with KG.
Why KG? That's my boy.
Let me cut the music off because
there's not another athlete that I hate more than KG.
I was waiting to get to this point, but I ain't know it was gonna come this fast. I was trying to wait. I've known you for years, bro. What is the beef? What's the deal? What's the problem?
I've just never liked KG, like ever, even as a kid.
I need you to explain.
I just never could stand him.
What's the problem, bro?
Well, I never could stand him as a kid, and that's just kind of one of them random. You watch somebody play and you just don't like them. But then, like as I got older, Tim Duncan's my third favorite player of all time behind Mike and AI. So like back then, it was the Tim Duncan or KG debate.
Right. Okay. Sure.
So I'm team Tim Duncan on that. Always have been. So just over the years, like that's Duncan, my guy. I don't like KG, and then. To me, he a fake tough guy. He try to fight small European players, and it's not tough guy stuff to me. And then obviously the shit he be saying to people, like what he said to Tim Duncan about his mom, even though Tim Duncan's mom was passed away, or what he said to Charlie Villanueva. And then he trying to make up the excuse like he didn't know Charlie Villanueva had cancer, which it was leukemia. Like, bruh, you don't see this man? This man has no eyebrows. Of course he got something. Like it's just fake tough guy stuff with me with Kevin Garnett. Like that's like that's been top of my list for like as long as I can remember.
So when Anthony Peeler gave him that quick 2-piece, you was happy. You was jumping up.
It's in my all-time fave 5 moments in NBA history.
Hey, it's crazy. I hated Kobe because I was a T-Mac guy.
I was too. You feel me? You see me?
I hated Kobe until he retired. Until Kobe scored 60 on that last game. That's the day I started. I'm like, all right, I fuck
MG, you can't see me right now, but I got the T-Mac jersey on with the stars from the Bow Wow video, bro.
Bro, the old Orlando joint, bro.
Yeah, that just hit my heart. But I'm saying, I wasn't a Kobe fan either because he was getting. I forgot who he got to. Was it Chris? What the fuck his name is?
Chris Childs.
Chris Childs, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, Kobe.
You talking about when he gave him the 1-2 Jon Jones joint?
Kobe had to grow on me like over a long period of time because back then I was just like, man, this nigga trying to rap. He's trash. He think he might.
He AI.
AI, yeah, all that, bro.
Man, I won't fuck with nobody who was rivaling AI. I hated Ray Allen. Like, I won't fuck with nobody who was rivaling AI.
I feel you, bro. So you said you would pick KG.
I fight him for free.
Can I change mine?
Yeah, you
I
at home.
want
You
to
do
go.
what you want.
I want to go Stephen A. Smith, bro.
You will fight? Damn.
Yeah, I had to get down on Stephen A. Smith, bro. I had to get down on him, man.
Explain that. You gotta let me know why. What's the problem? Bro? What's the beef?
Wow, bro.
I just hate his takes on certain shit, and I hate how hard he go, man. Like, and I like that Jay Williams called him out with the Aaron Rodgers versus Kyrie Irving shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like he just get down on. He go too far. Like when he say shit like KD, Kyrie is betraying you. Like, I'm like, bro, this actually is man's. Like, you gotta keep it sport. Like, keep it in the realm of like sports, kind of. Like, I hated his take on Colin Kaepernick. Like, it just be like. I don't fuck with
That's
it.
funny because that was AI's man, and you say you was an AI guy.
Yeah, and I like Stephen A. a lot. I didn't stop liking him until the Colin Kaepernick shit.
But you'll knock his ass out though.
Yeah, I had to get down on him. I still kind of respect him to an extent though. Like I still got some respect for him. I ain't gonna lie, but yeah, I had to get down on him. I had to piece him up.
I think for me, it's between Common and I guess he's not I guess you can't call him necessarily a celebrity, but like George Bush, for how far he set us back.
That is a wide range from Common to George Bush.
What did Common do, bro?
He played the same person in every movie.
Okay, like Denzel Washington, kind of.
Like Will Smith. Will Smith it's whatever movie starring Will Smith as Will Smith with a gun. Like it's the same movie.
Yeah. That's the vibe I get, and I feel like at some point he gonna be like in one of the Marvel movies playing himself, playing Common. Like, but he cool people. He cool people though, and I hate to like put him out there like that because he's from Chicago too. But I just be like, bro, you just gonna talk slow and be smooth in every fucking movie. You ain't got no type of range, nothing like them. Well, yeah, bro, it would be Common or George Bush. Probably George Bush. Like a young George Bush, though. I want to give him a fair one before I knock his ass cold out. You feel me?
Wait, oh man, see now that you mentioned that though,
you want to change yours too?
I can't. It's either KG or The Rock.
The Rock.
The Rock.
Damn,
I can't stand The Rock.
He trash in movies too. Like, I can't even front.
Yeah.
He ain't never really been good in movies at all.
But he was a childhood favorite. Though. That was my boy.
I was Stone Cold guy. See, I was
Stone
Stone Cold all day.
I like both. I just didn't like Triple H. He was the enemy.
He was the opposite either way.
Yeah. I'm rocking with The Rock or Stone Cold either way. You know. But
The Rock was getting hoes though. And yeah, Versace, he was lit. He was the original Migo. Versace shirts every week, sunglasses. I'm
a player.
I'm knocking George Bush the fuck out though.
I ain't mad at that.
All right, let's get off into these quick hits. I'm gonna say the NFL all the way for last. We was talking about cash a little while ago, and it seemed like the college football coach job situation is where it's at in terms of cash. Lincoln Riley leaving Oklahoma to go to USC. You know he got a bag. It's an undisclosed amount right now. Brian Kelly followed suit right after that. He left Notre Dame after 13 years to go to LSU. What's my man in Michigan State? What's his name? Is it Mel Tucker?
Yeah, Mel Tucker.
Mel Tucker.
Yeah.
He signed a big bag, 10 years, $95 million to stay with Michigan State. I think he's the highest paid black coach in college football history.
Yep.
Nice.
I don't know their record right now, but they might have a Heisman this year,
Yeah, they've lost 2 games, but I don't know if Kenny Walker is gonna win it. It honestly, it should be Aiden Hutchinson from Michigan, but he plays defensive end, and C. Wood is the last defensive player to win the Heisman, so I doubt he win it.
Y'all just went over Ohio State too the other day.
Man, yeah, they're still trying to push like Bryce Young or what's my man's from Purdue, the quarterback, Kenny Pickett.
They got these big bags, man, for these coaches, bro.
I actually saw some numbers on the Lincoln Riley thing. It wasn't confirmed, but
like
I saw
$100
some
million,
numbers.
right?
It's a $110 million. USC bought both of his homes in Norman for $500,000 over the asking price, a $1 million bonus, buying a $6 million home in LA, and unlimited use of the private jet for his family.
Damn. God damn.
Yeah.
We
He
sitting
got
in
the
the
John
wrong.
Gruden deal, bruh.
Man, shit. I guess they just passed the money over that shit. Damn, bro. Yeah, I think Lincoln Riley's what, 35, 36, something like that?
Yeah, he's still super young.
He's only at Oklahoma for 4 years, right?
4 or 5. No, he was longer.
I think he started there at 30 or 31.
Yeah.
He might be 34. He might be 34,
The
35.
The part of the deal that's crazy to me that it took me a while to reread it and understand. They bought both of his houses in Norman, like his houses that he owns,
For what?
for $500,000 over.
So he wouldn't have to
the
spend time
asking
selling
price.
them.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying they gave him $500,000 over the asking price on both homes, so that's $1 million bonus.
Yeah, just to get up out of there.
Like that's insane,
Just
bro.
to get up out of
Like
And when he was in interviews, they was asking him if he's gonna be the next coach at LSU. He's like, "Nah, I'm not going to LSU." But he never said he wasn't leaving. He's just like,
Yeah.
"LSU, what the fuck?"
But you can understand why, because the number 3 quarterback that he had coming in 2 years, can't remember his last name. It's Malachi something.
Yeah,
he decommitted.
he did too.
He's the number 3 quarterback. He decommitted from OU and then recommitted and committed to USC in like a day later.
I got a game show question for y'all with Lincoln Riley later on, but just a little bit of his resume. He's 55-10 as the OU head coach. Had coached back-to-back Heisman winners in Baker Mayfield and Kyler Murray, and could have had one with Jalen Hurts after he transferred from Alabama, but it didn't work out that way. He was in the college football playoff conversation 3 of the 4 years that he was there. Who do you think got the better situation? I know obviously it might be Lincoln Riley, but Brian Kelly left to go to LSU. Said it's an easier road to win a college championship at LSU versus at Notre Dame. I disagree with that. But who do y'all think got the better situation? Oh, and you could throw Mel Tucker in there too.
Well, Brian Kelly was the backup to the backup plan for LSU.
Yeah, right,
remember,
right.
they wanted Mel Tucker first,
Right.
and they didn't get him,
And he was off the
and they
board.
wanted Lincoln Riley. So Brian Kelly was the backup to the backup. I think LSU was just chasing the big name. When you look at the people they were chasing, like they were just chasing the big name. I would put. I'd probably put Mel Tucker third on the list, just because of where he's coaching and who he has to recruit against.
Word.
Because I mean, it's Michigan State. I mean, they're secondary school in their own state to Michigan. Then you're also recruiting against Penn State, Ohio State, Minnesota, who has been getting it together a little bit the last couple of years. You see, Purdue's had a little bit of success here with the quarterback. Wisconsin, Iowa, like he's recruiting against some juggernauts that have been running the Midwest for a long time.
For sure. Including Notre Dame.
Yeah, exactly. And Notre Dame. Yep. And that's a nationwide one too. So you go down south with Brian Kelly and LSU. I mean, they're going to produce defensive players and athletes like it's, like the back of their hand, honestly. But he still has to coach against Nick Saban. And I don't like Nick Saban at all, but he's a hell of a coach. You can't deny that part.
Lincoln Riley got a lot of pressure going out there to Cali to do all of that. Like, even though we talked about how much bread he's getting, how much bonuses, that's a lot of pressure to not deliver. That's why I was asking. Terry, who you think got the best of the situation?
definitely Lincoln Riley, bro. And I'm kind of just going off the numbers, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you, like
it's hard to ignore that. You're right,
man, bro. And you're in Cali, like what?
Yeah,
Like,
and I'll tell you this: he don't have to lead a state to recruit. Yeah. That is the big difference between being at Oklahoma, because Oklahoma itself does not produce a lot of football players. They take a lot of players out of other southern states like the Texases and some of the places like that. Yeah. California is its own entire hub on its own. It'd be like being a basketball coach in New York or in Chicago or LA, where they're just hubs for basketball players. Yeah. You should be able to get a good pool of talent. And when Lincoln Riley, with how popular he is, especially amongst offensive players, having the budget he's going to have at USC, the support he'll have of everybody, and he doesn't.
You say he got unlimited use of the PJ, bro?
Yeah.
Unlimited use, 24/7.
And California churns out quarterbacks and skill position players almost as much as anybody. So he won't even really have to leave the state to get top recruits. And USC's a pipeline to the NFL, so getting top-tier assistant coaches won't be difficult either.
Did y'all hear about this Dave Chappelle shit this week?
You talking about the high school?
Yeah.
What happened? I ain't hear that.
Yo! Jeezy, tell him what happened, bro.
So was it his high school or was it like his elementary? It was a high school, right?
It was. I think it was an elementary school, bro. Was it elementary school or high school?
It was. If it was elementary, it makes it even more funny. So I hope it was the elementary. So he went back to his old school, and he did. I don't know. You can almost call it like a town hall, I guess, where he was on stage and taking questions from the students there. And there was a bunch of students that was challenging him on his special.
Stand up, yeah.
And his reaction is like the most Dave Chappelle reaction that you would imagine. He going back at the kids. Yeah, he going back at the kids.
I gotta see this shit.
So, Dave Chappelle is in his truest of troll forms right now.
That was the truest form.
Like he's like a Super Saiyan troll. Dude is on another planet.
It was a high school. So
it was high school.
So
okay.
an excerpt from the town hall meeting. One of the kids was saying, "I'm 16. I think you're childish. You handled the situation like a child." Dave Chappelle responded and recalled the next day. He said, "My friend, with all due respect, I don't believe you can make one of the decisions I make in one given day." The students said they was hoping for an apology or some semblance from Dave Chappelle, but he essentially started ridiculing each person that came up to the microphone to try to challenge his authority.
Shout out to Dave Chappelle, man.
He said one of the students came up to him and said, "Your comedy is killing people." And he said, "Niggas get killed every day, B." Oh my God. Yo,
hey,
dog.
Fuck them kids was a person.
Basically. The first thing that come up is that Issa mean throwing the baby in the garbage can.
Yeah.
Man.
You talking about the Lion King one, bro? My man Rafiki got Simba over the cliff.
Savage. How you gonna go after kids like that, fam? Kids?
Man. Nobody's safe.
Nobody's safe, man. Make sure y'all hit us up in the mailbag, the Hitmen Podcast at gmail.com. Let us know how y'all feeling about the NBA season. Who y'all think is gonna win this fight coming up? Shakur Stevenson is coming up. Algeria has a fight. Tank Davis got a fight coming up tue, right?
Yeah, up against a bomb. I don't even want to get into Tank. Oh my God. You're 27, bro. You fought nobody. Like, bro. What the fuck is going on, bro? Like,
it sounds like he learning from the best, bro. He sound like he learned that tactic from his homie, from his big homie. You know what I'm saying?
Floyd?
Stall him out, figure out what you want to do. You know what I'm saying?
Man, Floyd was running through niggas at 27, bro.
At 27, yeah, but 27 ain't 47. It's a whole different type of vibe nowadays. Yeah. He only know what he see right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it's like Floyd did all that, but it's like, bro, you already dominated 2 divisions. Now you done. Like, people want to say, he picked and chose, but you was a Hall of Famer if you would have stopped at 140.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
Good point.
Tank ain't got that resume.
Nah, hell no, not yet. But he got a fight coming up, like you said, it's against a tomato can. I'm tired of them holding divisions hostage. I want to see the big fights. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need to see this Spence and Crawford shit happen. We need to see it ain't even Joshua no more. It's Usyk with the title.
Yeah.
Usyk and Fury need to figure out the unification shit, or if they're gonna do a rematch with Joshua. Like, I want to see the big dog fights, man.
Oh, they're doing a rematch, I believe.
Word.
I think Fury's holding out for the winner.
What'd you say, Terry?
Okay. Yeah. I need to see Devin and Tank.
Devin and Tank, yeah, boys, man.
I need to see Devin.
I need to stop fucking around, bro. Let's talk the NFL. The Bucs stayed pat. They forced 3 turnovers against Indianapolis in the second half, including a pick 6. They look like they're going back to the Super Bowl. It's crazy because nobody seems like they want to win this shit. Everybody kind of just treading water. People getting injured, COVID, this and that. There's no real clear-cut favorite, but Tampa's still been doing their thing week in, week out. Obviously, the Bears ain't going nowhere, G. Out back to put Matt Nagy out to pasture. You feel me? But who do y'all like on both sides of the coin to kind of make it? We pretty much where they at? Week 12. We pretty much done with the season. We got 6 or 7 games left. Who do y'all like on the way to LA?
It's looking like Brady might get another one. I feel like Brady's kind of declining. His play has been declining the last few weeks, even though the team is still doing their thing. But and it's a good year for the NFL because I don't think it's clear cut for anybody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Especially in the AFC.
It's not good for me because I've been losing fucking money every week. I'm trying to put money on winners, and it ain't happening the way I want it to.
Right.
You feel me?
Man, you ain't lying. Yeah, but I'm with you on the Brady thing. As far as the Bucks being my title favorites right now.
Word.
I mean, they that offense since Antonio Brown has not been there, and then when Gronk was out, it's clear that Tom Brady don't really trust Mike Evans and Chris Godwin the way he trusts Gronk and AB.
Them his guys.
But that offense looks a lot different when those two are not there.
Yeah, them his guys for sure.
Yeah, and so, and then the defense, the injuries and stuff like that have happened. But it's hard to bet against Tom Brady at this point when he's just giving you every reason to bet in his, bet for him. So it's hard to bet against them. I still like the Cardinals too, though. I mean, Kyler Murray's been out the last couple of weeks, so I still like the Cardinals as the second team. And then AFC. Like you guys said, who wants to win it? Because literally outside of the Patriots, every team in like that top 10 have been up and down the last month or so.
They're gonna fuck around and let a team like Cincinnati or something like that get in.
Man, look, you might mess around and look. You look at that AFC West. Everybody is either 6-5 or you got everybody 6-5 except the Chiefs who are 7-4. Like it's a 1 game difference in the whole division. So it's tough with the AFC, man. It's just so much inconsistency.
That's gonna do it for the Bams. I don't even want to go into the NFL. Like it's gonna make my head hurt. Make sure y'all rate, review, and subscribe. We everywhere that podcasts live. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, all of that. Hit us up on the YouTube. Get y'all entries in for the PS5. Please, please, please. We got about 2 weeks left. We got a ton of entries, but want to make sure that we get this thing home to a winner. So make sure y'all hit us up on the Instagram at Hitmen Podcast. Check out the rules. Make sure y'all go pick up that Sprite Winter Spice Cranberry for the holidays. I had some with some Herradura tequila the other day, and it's a banger. You feel me? Before we get off into the rundown, I wanted to stop right here and just send condolences to the families of Virgil Abloh and Otis Anderson Jr. Obviously, Virgil's an icon in the streetwear game. He took over the Louis Vuitton house as their executive creative director, president, which was unheard of in terms of having an African-American in any of those continents, entities in any of those fashion houses. But from Off-White to Louis Vuitton, a big part of the reason the NBA has their partnership with Louis Vuitton now, when they bring the trophy out, it's in the Louis Vuitton case. That was an initiative started by Virgil. And then, obviously, his fingerprint is on everything. Everybody got Off-White in the NBA, in all of these sports, and just in everyday life. If you got a little bit of money, you done seen somebody or know somebody that got some Off-White. So, lost him at 41, Rockford Illinois legend, lost him to cancer. Didn't even know he had cancer. That was kind of under the radar. But, Terry, I know you're a big Kanye fan. Did this affect you pretty heavily over the weekend when we found out the news?
It was surprising. I'm not gonna lie and say that it had a big impact on me. I think the impact it had on me was to get shit done now, because it's just like, like now I'm thinking about leaving my job or whatever. Like, what about a pension? What about this? What about that? It's like, if I was to catch cancer and check out at 40 and I spent the last 10 years doing some shit I really didn't want to do for a pension I never ended up getting, you know what I'm saying? It's like Virgil chased his dream and he hit it at the highest level right before, his time came, and that shit is like, that's crazy. Like, you can't make that type of stuff up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I think that it's just an inspiration more. It was even more inspiring. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think his death just reinforced the inspiration that he had on people already. You know what I'm saying?
Word. MG, I know you pay attention to college sports a little bit more, with Justin kind of leading the way too. But Otis Anderson Jr., he was essentially like in a Marvin Gaye situation. You know what I'm saying? Found out reports were saying that his father ended up shooting him over something petty, over something stupid. And Terry and I, we frat brothers, but he was a member of Kappa Alpha Psi as well, out at UCF. But crazy to hear stories like that, bro. Yeah.
Shot his mom too.
Shot his mom too? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
No, he was defending his mom.
Yeah.
He was defending his mom from his dad.
The report I saw was that they got into it over a dog bite or something. Damn, I did not know that, man.
But it's tragic, man, and unfortunately, we hear too many stories from the NFL every year about something happening. Regardless of if it was something that happened to a player or something that the player did, just too many stories about this type of stuff popping up from the NFL, man, and it's sad. Does this stuff happen in other sports, of course, but you see it so much more with the NFL. And when you're talking about guys like that, or a guy like Zach Stacy throwing his life away in the way he did, testosterone levels,
trauma, testosterone, PTSD.
It's a meathead sport. It's a car crash. It's one of them. It's just, I think that's a big part of it. They technically say when you're around other men more often, that also helps raise testosterone levels. So you're already playing a sport that is violent, and then you're around a team of 70 some odd people who are also in that same line of thinking as you. It's just not a good environment in that sense.
I agree,
but it just sucks, man. It just sucks to see another brother get killed like that who was trying to do the right thing.
Yeah, man. Hearts and minds, prayers and thoughts to those families. Like it's tough, especially losing a family member in the holidays. It's always the holidays, bro. It's always the holidays when this shit be hitting the hardest. You know what I'm saying?
Man, oh man, so much more to life, and it sucks, man.
Let's try to lighten this shit a little bit. Y'all copped anything this week? Y'all got something for the Black Friday? TV, Xbox, PS5. What y'all pick up?
I bought some stocks, bro.
Yeah, my guy, Mastermind. You feel me? That's what I'm talking about, dog. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Man, hell yeah. It's still down right now, so shit, it ain't too late.
Straight up and down.
Man.
I ain't pick up nothing on stock.
I've been buying stuff all year, man.
I say slow down.
I took it easy, man. I just bought a bunch of games because everything was on sale. Because I just got the PlayStation, so like I got Ghost of Tsushima and Deathloop and all that shit for like half off, and then I got a gaming chair. But like that's really it. Because I've been buying stuff all year. I need to stop.
I feel bad now for shit. I ain't pick up no stocks. I picked up something off of Stock X, though. You feel me?
Facts.
Let me get this rundown off before I lose my cool. December 3rd, this is December 1st we're recording this. The big get of the week is the Jordan 1 Amamanye. It's like a 96 yesterday. It's like maroon and white. They had a couple stocks out over the weekend. December 4th, they got an Adidas 500 ash gray. And then on the 4th, December 4th, Ho's birthday, is Quantum Amber, the basketball shoe that he was going to push off for a minute. Nothing else really comes to mind. It's a Yeezy Mafia week. There's a bunch of Yeezys dropping. They got 3 shipments coming out on the 6th. The next time y'all check back in with us, we'll have an update for y'all. But, damn, Terry just fucked me up with that. I was like, yeah, man, I'm about to stop.
Bruh, I'm like, damn, I ain't never thought about that. I ain't never thought to do that on Black Friday.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. We was just talking about the Kanye shit, right? The Virgil and Kanye shit. Kanye got that 10-year deal with Gap. Gap stock just dropped to $18, bro. So Kanye gonna shoot that stock up over 100 over the next 10 years. So it's just like really over the next year, Kanye probably when they start dropping products, Kanye gonna shoot that stock up. So definitely grab that Gap stock for $18, man. Grab like a couple of them joints.
Dropping jewels on the show. That's why I had these niggas out here, man, to be my new muscle. You feel me? Hurricane and Typhoon. Let's get off into the game show. So I hinted to it a little bit earlier. It should be pretty easy for either one of y'all if y'all pay attention to college. So Lincoln Riley coached back-to-back Heisman winners, Baker Mayfield in 2017 and Kyler Murray in 2018. The last time it was done was about 20 years ago. I need y'all, either one of y'all, I'm going to give y'all both 30 seconds. I need y'all to give me the school, the coach, and the 2 back-to-back Heisman winners. That's the question.
USC Pete Carroll, Reggie Bush, Matt Line.
Damn, nigga. You didn't even let the music finish, bro. Bing bong. Damn, shit.
Oh, my bad.
They been whooping my ass on the game show week in, week out, bro. I need to go back into the lab and figure out some harder shit, man.
Them was my boys. 20 years? I'm old as fuck.
You old as a motherfucker. You feel me? Yeah, man. Was 04 and 05, right? 04 and 05 or was it 03, 04? 04, 05.
Shit, I forgot, man. That's crazy.
I think it's 04, 05. And he had Carson Palmer in between. And he had Carson Palmer, too, as a Heisman.
Yeah, he was going crazy.
Yeah.
It was rumored that he might have been going back over there as a coach, but shit, that shit got shut down. I think he's going to be done in Seattle this year.
With the USC? Yeah, I think he's too old to go back and coach at college.
Shout outs. I'm going to let y'all
Much.
brothers go first. Terry, you on deck. Who you shouting out this week?
Shout out to my boy Reggie with Outliers. He got the clothing store out in Lansing. You know what I'm saying? So Google that, Outliers Clothing. Shoot out to his store out in Lansing. Shit, you know, of course, you know, shout out to Roseland Printing, the DTG printing company. Any clothing needs, hoodies, t-shirts, any graphics you need done, you know, we got it at Roseland Printing. So, you know.
MG, who you shouting out, bro?
Oh, you know me, man. I'm a homer, bro. I just got to give a shout out to all my Detroit rappers out there, man.
What up, dog?
Straight up.
You know, from Big Sean to Payroll to PZ and T Grizzly, Sada Baby, all of them, man. Detroit doing big things out here with the rap shit. So, gotta show them love.
Word.
Facts.
Shout out to the crib, Iman Shumpert, the first NBA star to win Dancing with the Stars. I should have shouted him out last week. I was late with it, but congrats. He's going galactic on the show. A lot of his clips is going viral in terms of his dance. They did Us. They did I Got Five on it. But he ended the finale giving y'all a real good taste of Chicago. He hit y'all with the bangs, with the 40s, put some footwork in there. I don't know what his partner was on. I don't know what the fuck she thought she was doing with that bob, but it got him to win, so salute to Iman. Shout out Killer Cocktails, your co-host Cam Bam Fam on the Terry Roseland Podcast, bro. She just hit the 1 year anniversary of her relaunch for Killer Cocktails. She came through for my daughter's birthday party. That shit was a fucking hit. I had people reaching out to me this week trying to get her for the holidays, trying to get some orders for her. If y'all ever been to New York, it's kind of like Coquito, but she had some infused drinks for us, and they was a hit. It was a hit record. So salute to Cam. Happy anniversary. Shout out to Paige Beckers. She was a freshman sensation at UConn last year, right, bro? MG?
Yeah, Paige Buckets, you already know.
Yeah, she signed an NIA deal with an exclusive with Gatorade. So she's going to be in a lot of their spots this year. She's going to get a Gatorade sponsorship. She's probably going to have to wear some stuff on the court. But
Her teammate just signed with was the first athlete to sign with the Curry brand.
oh, word?
Yeah, they got a freshman. They got a freshman there. She's one of the only 2 women invited to Steph's Under Armour camp. And she won the 3-point shootout and everything, and she got a exclusive contract with them.
Damn, I wonder if she got.
I can't remember what her name was because I saw it in passing.
I wonder if she.
But
Need,
yep.
I wonder if she need an agent or something. I wonder if NILs get agents. I might have to have their ass on.
Oh yeah, she got the Curry brand deal.
I might have to have their ass on the show. Paige, pull up on the show, man. What up? I need to holler at you about some residuals. You feel me? Last time I'm gonna say it before we get up out of here, make sure y'all rate, review, and subscribe. We everywhere that podcasts live. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, all of that. Shout out to the usual suspects. Shout out to Terry and MG for pulling up on the show. Make sure y'all check their shows out. The Terry Roseland Podcast is on Apple right now. It's right in your phone. All you gotta do is type in Terry Roseland and you already situated. As far as MG goes, him and Shotty, they still holding it down on the Defining Victories podcast, only on blitzsportsnetwork.com. Make sure y'all keep it locked. Shout out to the Black podcast that I subscribe to that I fuck with, the BU podcast. Shout out to Taper Talk. I said Terry Rosen already. What's the word? Cody Mack, what up? Breach Specific, what's the deal? Shout out to the Goodfellas podcast as well. Make sure y'all get them entries in, man, for this PS5. Like I said, we got about 2 weeks left. Hit us up at Hitmen Podcast, at Labeled and Known, to find out the rules and regulations. With that being said, man, I appreciate y'all pulling up. We're going to get up out of here on this.
What happened here was a miracle, and I want you to acknowledge it.
All right, it was a miracle. Can we go now?
58, we gone. Holla.
Target center. Oh!